Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're one of the hundreds of thousands of people relying on SNAP benefits in Maryland, you know exactly how vital that monthly support is. But keeping those benefits active, well, that requires navigating a process that can honestly feel a bit like a maze. So today, our goal is to turn this potentially overwhelming recertification process into a really clear, totally manageable journey. We're going to break down exactly what you need to do, step by step, to make sure you get a successful recertification. Now, did you know you could lose your SNAP benefits if you miss one single deadline? It's a harsh reality, but it's absolutely true. If you don't complete your renewal by the exact deadline set by the state, your benefits are going to stop right at the end of your current certification period. Around 90 days before that period ends, you'll get a notice in the mail. And taking immediate action on that 90-day notice is absolutely crucial, so your household doesn't face a sudden, super stressful drop in your food budget. And to add to the urgency here, there are some pretty big federal legislative changes you need to know about. Under a 2025 federal law known as H.R. 1, up to 80,000 additional Marylanders are now facing brand new work reporting requirements just to keep their eligibility. Because of these sweeping federal changes, Maryland's documentation and verification processes have gotten stricter than ever before. So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, why timely recertification matters. 2. Gathering your necessary documents. 3. The step-by-step recertification process. 4. Overcoming challenges and issues. 5. Next steps and communication. And finally, 6. Some essential resources and a quick recap. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, why timely recertification matters, and why you really don't want to risk a break in your coverage. So the Maryland SNAP framework actually works on a two-tiered schedule. Depending on your specific household situation, you're either going to face a 6-month benefit review or a 12-month recertification. The 6-month review is generally a simplified reporting process, mostly for households that have fluctuating earned incomes. On the flip side, the 12-month recertification, which is also called a redetermination, is a comprehensive process. That's where they reevaluate all your eligibility factors from top to bottom. Now, here's a number you really should know. 13.64%. That is Maryland's federally assessed payment error rate for the 2024 fiscal year. So why does this matter to you? Well, if the state's error rate gets too high, they face massive federal financial penalties, literally potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. Because of that, Department of Human Services caseworkers are under immense pressure to strictly verify every single detail you submit. They literally leave zero room for guesswork. Moving on to Section 2, gathering your necessary documents. Think of this as your ultimate preparation toolkit. First up, you need proof of your identity and your address. You'll need a government-approved ID, like a driver's license, and proof of where you live, like a current lease or a mortgage statement. But hey, pay really close attention to that utility bill requirement. Providing your most recently issued utility bill, especially one that shows you pay separately for heating or cooling, is a huge deal. Why? Because it can actually qualify your household for the standard utility allowance, which can significantly maximize the final benefit amount you get. Next up is proof of income and expenses. And here is the absolutely crucial part. You have to provide documentation for the entire household, not just you. If anyone lives with you and receives income, whether that's wages from a job, Social Security, unemployment, or temporary cash assistance, it has to be documented. The same goes for your deductible expenses. Tracking down childcare cost statements or recent medical bills for elderly or disabled household members is vital to making sure you get the absolute maximum benefit amount you're allowed. Okay, Section 3, the step-by-step recertification process. Let's navigate these forms and portals together. If you're doing this online, here's exactly what you do. Step 1, visit marylandbenefits.gov and sign right into the MyMD Think consumer portal. Step 2 is super critical. If this is your first time linking your case online, you must enter your head of household PIN. You'll find this HOH PIN mailed to you in that 90-day notice letter we talked about earlier. Then, Step 3, right on your dashboard, just click My Redetermination if you're on that 12-month cycle, or My Benefits Review if you're on the 6-month cycle. Then, just follow the prompts to upload your files. Easy, right? Now, what about the actual forms? Well, there are a couple you might run into. Form 9701 is your standard application for assistance. This is used for those multi-program 12-month redeterminations that need a lot of exhaustive detail. But definitely keep an eye out for Form 9711E. This is part of the Elderly Simplified Application Project. It's strictly for households where all adult members are at least 60 years old or disabled and have no earned income. It makes the paperwork way simpler. And hey, please remember, if the online portal just feels like too much, you do not have to use it. Physical paper packets are always available and always accepted. You can simply visit your county's local Department of Social Services or LDSS branch. They'll hand you the physical forms to fill out, and a lot of locations even have secure document drop boxes, so you can just leave your completed packet without standing in line all day. Let's shift gears to Section 4, Overcoming Challenges and Issues, because we all know hurdles are going to pop up. So, a really common question we get is about the recertification interview. Maryland actually recently enacted an interview waiver policy. That means you might be able to entirely bypass that mandatory 10 to 30-minute phone interview with a caseworker. But here is the catch. It's conditionally approved only if your application and all your uploaded documents are 100% complete. If literally anything is questionable, missing, or unclear, the caseworker is still going to contact you to do the interview. Another major issue involves folks who are subject to work requirements, formerly known as time-limited participants. If you lost your benefits in the past because you couldn't meet those work requirements, listen closely to this. Starting July 1, 2026, the state's 3-year clock actually restarted. That means you can reapply right now for a brand new, fresh 3-month grace period of benefits, as long as you still meet the general income qualifications. All right, Section 5, Next Steps and Communication. Basically, what exactly happens after you hit submit? Let's map out this timeline so you know exactly what to expect. 90 days before your deadline, you get your notice and your PIN. Then, you hit your submission date. From there, processing and approval should ideally happen within 2 weeks, assuming your file is totally complete. Now, if your benefits are reduced or denied and you disagree with that decision, you have exactly 90 days from the date on your Notice of Adverse Action to file Form 334. That's how you request a fair hearing to appeal the decision. Through all of this, maintaining open communication is honestly your best defense against administrative errors. If you lose your HOH PIN, if you don't hear back after 2 weeks, or if you need to report a change in your income, just call the DHS Customer Call Center at 1-800-332-6347. The amazing thing is it's available in over 200 languages, and they can pull up your case directly from the state system while you're on the phone. Finally, Section 6, Essential Resources and a Recap. You absolutely do not have to navigate this alone. It's really important to know that there are organizations out there that aren't state government offices. They're certified community-based organizations. Groups like Maryland Hunger Solutions, Benefits Data Trust, and Lifestyles of Southern Maryland exist specifically to help you out. They will actually sit down with you, help you fill out your application, and make sure all your documents are uploaded correctly. And the best part, it is completely free of charge. Just a quick standard heads up before we finish. This explainer is meant to give you general guidance based on current Maryland and federal data. Because procedures, income limits, and eligibility requirements can and do change, you should always verify your specific case details directly with your local SNAP representatives or the official state resources. So I want to leave you with this question. Will you organize your documents today to secure your household's essential nutrition for tomorrow? Yes, the timeline is strict, and sure, the documentation rules are tight. But by preparing early and using the resources we talked about today, you can absolutely conquer this recertification process. Go grab that utility bill, locate those pay stubs, and take that first step right now. Thank you so much for joining us on this explainer, and happy learning.